Hey guys, welcome to your Fridays in your Max Seller Week. I hope that you're doing fine today. I'm Dr. Myrdalis Diaz Ramirez, creator of the Max Seller Mastermind and the Design Your Physician Life podcast. And this week we had Dr. Ludmila, and we talked about passion and expertise, bringing passion and expertise into your life. And this is a topic that's been very important for us as entrepreneurs, and I want to give you today 3 things that are going to be very important for you to be able to leverage this in your life if you're considering an entrepreneurial journey. We are very happy because we have soon we're going to have our next cohort of our mastermind, and we've been talking to a lot of physicians from all over the country, and we've had different experiences. We are happy that there's some that are really showing that they have a lot of fulfillment in their careers as physicians, and we're pleased that they're doing that. As we've discussed before, many physicians will be able to do that just because medicine is filling them and the process is really not bothering them. There's many that do reach fulfillment because they have other activities in terms of their health, in terms of their contribution to their communities, in terms of their family, that take them to places where they're just not bothered by the things that are happening in their healthcare systems, or they have been able to develop systems in their clinics that they're very happy with. But there's some others that find that happiness through entrepreneurship. And one of the things that we were discussing this week in our podcast, Design Your Physician Life, was that passion and expertise are very important if you're going to be able to be in control of your career. And one of the things that we want to do is really make sure that physicians are able to be in control of their career and they can future-proof their careers. And there's 3 things that we believe are very important for you to be able to do so. And if you want to share this with others, please do #live and #replay. That way they can listen to it. And if you haven't heard that episode with Dr. Ludmila Schaefer, please go to our podcast, Design Your Physician Life. It's on all the major platforms, and you can listen to the whole entire podcast with her story, how she became a doctor, how she decided eventually to help physicians, and about you can also listen more about how she went also to studying some artificial intelligence and how she's bringing that into her now other area in her life, helping physicians. So go ahead and listen to that podcast called Design Your Physician Life, the episode with Dr. Ludmila Schaefer, and it's in all major platforms. So let's start with the first thing that we talked about. And we talk about passion and expertise. I'm going to start with the expertise. And we have physicians who want to do entrepreneurship. I had somebody that I talked to, and he says, you know what, I want to be an entrepreneur. And I say, okay, well, let's go over this conversation. Let's go one thing by one thing. What do you mean by that? And they are tired of doing the things in medicine that they're not familiar with, that they didn't go and they didn't do their residency and fellowship for. So they've ended up themselves the way that their career, their life has taken them in a way that is not what their expertise lies. So one of the things that we tell the physicians who want to learn about entrepreneurship, want to bring this to their lives, if you want to do something medical, if you want to do something that's really not, like even real estate or something that goes along what you're thinking that you want to leverage from what you bring in your history, let's go to your medical training, okay? Let's see how your knowledge is special, how it's unique, and then let's conduct not only, saying, okay, I went to residency for this and I went to my fellowship for that. Let's see there which skills have you developed within each of those, like your residency and your fellowship, and what experiences have you gained through medicine that with that inventory, we can help you identify specific problems that you can resolve, because the expertise that we bring is not necessarily for the things that we want to do. We'll talk about that in passion, but it's also like we're solving problems for others. As an anesthesiologist, as an interventional pain physician, and now functional medicine physician, I have certain number of things and that I acquired in that category, like observing somebody, talking to people, really we go and do depositions and things like that. We know about certain products, certain services that will help our patients, and we can put all that together and we can package those into services or products or content. So that's going to be the first part. Leveraging your specialized knowledge is the first thing that you should know. Then the second thing, which you can do this before, after, is talking about your passion, right? So we don't want to force our into a business that lacks our passion. We've had people who come and they, you have your expertise, and it might be that expertise is not the way that you want to leverage because you were not comfortable doing X or Y. But then what passion, if you have genuine passion and interest, that will help you have a longer lasting business. How so? We have a particular physician that I'm working with. They have a clinic, right? And they have gone to this particular clinic with an initial vision because they saw, okay, that clinic, in that way, that physician is able to get great income during their business in that clinic. So I'm going to do the same. But they don't have the passion for what that physician is doing. It really doesn't gel with them. It doesn't identify with them. So what's been happening is that they open a clinic, they have tons of services that they have developed, tons of equipment that they have purchased, and it doesn't follow where their passion lies, which in this case is connected to their area of expertise. So in working with that physician, what we've done is that, okay, let's make a list of 2 things. We did, as we said, we made that list of your expertise, the things that you're good at, that you've developed through the years, and then let's make a list of what makes you passionate, the things that you really like to do. And then we mix those together, and then we're able to service your patients. So now we're at a stage with this particular physician where they're finally identifying their avatar, so their ideal patient or client, and then now they're identifying the sets of services that they're going to be able to do for that avatar, for that client potentially coming to their clinic. And what's going to happen is that now we're having conversations with this physician where they're committed with their time, they're committed with their mind, they're committed to now have what we call the SMART goals. Now we can develop a plan for them. But if we start with just these like fast money making events because somebody else is doing it, but it's not really our passion, it's not going to last. There's tons of physicians who are, for example, very successful with, laser clinics, right? And you say, if that physician made that laser clinic, I can go ahead and do a laser clinic. But then you start with a laser clinic, and really it's not something that goes along with your passion and your expertise. It doesn't match. It's not going to be long lasting. Unless maybe you're like a passive investor and then somebody else is leading with their passion and expertise in the project. That's a different thing. And we see that in many cases where we want to use certain investments where we're passive investors from a distance, where we're talking about more about the passion and the specialized knowledge that you're going to leverage and your expertise is in things that you're going to be more actively involved. So that's the first one, leveraging your specialized knowledge, and then let your passion lead the way. And those are going to be for your active businesses that you're going to do. Some people even consider those for their passive investments. But I think that in that moment where we're considering this for your passive investments is more a matter of principles. So, for example, if you say, I'm going to put the money here, it doesn't matter, my passion and my expertise don't matter. Those are going to matter for the person who's going to be running that business, right? Then that's a different thing. But it might be that my principles are going to be leading the way that I invest in passive income. And then that's a total different conversation. So for those who are having that passive income, that's going to be more of a principle, because you don't want to also invest in things that you don't think are, they don't go with your values, they go with the way that you think. You don't want to get money in that way. That's something different. Okay, so for people who are thinking about active investments where they have to work and they want to do things, as being a physician and even not being a physician, the first 2 things that we talked about is how to let that passion lead your way and how to leverage your expertise. You put those things together, but then now you have a business And there's the number 3 thing that we're going to recommend is like start small and think big. So if we have something that we want to do, we want to, in medicine, we like success is not it's out of the question, right? Like we really want to be successful, and we do that with our patients. So we want to do the same thing with our businesses. We're not here building hobbies. We love hobbies, but for the purposes of our conversations here is really to build a business. One of the things that we see is like, oh my goodness, I don't know how to do this. And these are some of the limiting beliefs that the physicians are going to have. One of them is going to be about perfectionism. The other one is going to be about not having the time, not having the knowledge. And those are things that we can combat, right? We're going to do one of those by starting small. If you say, I'm going to have this business where I'm going to leverage my capacity as a physician, let's say that I want to be either a speaker or I want to be a coach, or I want to bring more of a certain service to my clinic because I know about that. I know that it's the service that's needed in my community. I know that this is something that my clients, my patients are going to benefit from. But the project sounds too big for what we want to accomplish, then we're going to start small. So we're going to say that we're going to have small incremental objectives. And when we talk about objectives, we're going to have, those are SMART goals, right? Like they're going to be, you're going to have a time, you're going to be able to measure them, you're going to be able to follow them. And these are tools that you can use in your business for being able to start, right? So you say, I'm going to bring X new service to my clinic because I know that this is going to help my patients. And then instead of saying, okay, tomorrow I'm going to go and train, the next week we're going to have this machine here, and then we're going to just operate and have everything ready for our patients. Well, let's just divide that into simple, different, small tasks, because we break the big goals into milestones. Maybe in 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, we can make that more accessible. In a case of, for example, bringing a new service, a technique that you learned, that you really loved, let's say that you're the guy who really likes the laser and you want to bring that service into your clinic because it goes along the areas of your passion and your expertise, then let's make sure that first we have the patients, right? So we're going to make a plan for bringing that technology. That plan is going to include not only our training and not only the money that we need to purchase that, maybe financing the way that we're going to think about that, but we're also going to have a way of marketing that. It might be that we choose to really bring all that once we have a list of patients. So first goal, let's get the list of patients. And believe it or not, like we have historically in doing interventional pain management, one of the things that we've seen is that companies are not going to train you from now on unless you have like a list of patients. They say, my goodness, I know I have the list of patients. I want to just bring this technology to my patients because I know I can help them. And the company's making it so difficult. Well, from a business point of view, you want a return on investment on that, and you want to ensure that from the beginning. So if you have a list of patients for this investment before you make it, it's going to make it more successful for you, right? Really digging down is going to help you do that work ahead of time. So that's a small task, getting that list of patients. Then the next thing that you're going to do, once you have that list of patients, or you can do this in reverse, you know what, I'm going to bring this technology and I'm going to do this other step first, which is getting your office ready, okay? Even before you get the equipment. So you know the science behind that machine or that new procedure that you're going to do. If you're going to do this for your particular office, in the case that that's the way that you want to lead with the entrepreneurship in your life, is making your office better. And this still applies if you have insurance, if you take insurance or don't take insurance in your office. So you're going to train your staff. So training your staff is going to be part of that plan. It's going to be a small part that you're going to have to create. Training your staff, you should create scripts for that staff regarding that particular process or procedure. It happened many times, because we have insurance that patients will call and we don't care because the volume is going to be there. But the truth is, like, if you train your staff, it's going to have a much better experience for your patient when they come, and it's going to have a better conversion rate for you when that patient, it's another point of contact for you, and making sure that you'll have good outcomes from that procedure or that new program that you have in your office. So that's another little thing that you can do, which is a big thing at the end of the day, because it's going to be so significant for that connection. So let's go back to thinking that we're going to have this huge program again added to our clinics. First, yes, you know about the science, so you do your little plan about the science. You know about the financing of that machine, you do your plan about the machine, the financing. You do getting the patients for that, then you train your office. The other thing that you will need is documentation, right? Because you want the patients getting ready for before, during, and after the procedure. So you're going to need that. So if you divide all this in little tasks, then this big huge project of bringing this new technology seems much easier to take on. One other thing that we need to do is how we're going to divide our marketing for that product, right? So then if we say, okay, we have already all these other steps, when do I introduce the marketing? And then you can do your plan, and you're going to then do what's called your project plan. So you put all these small parts inside a larger plan, and then from there you take your parts and then you check, and you make sure that you do this with your team. So to review again, let's go back. If we're going to go and talk about leveraging if we're going to talk about our business, how we make it succeed through passion and expertise. Passion, first, the things that last longest are the ones that we're passionate about. And then expertise is very important. If we don't have the expertise because we have not acquired that as physicians, and because we're doing a different business outside of medicine, we can have passion about many things, right? We can be passionate about the climate change. We can be passionate, so you can create a business in clean energy. We can be passionate about educating others in ways that are not something about medicine. It can be about our hobbies, but if you want to create a business out of that, that's important. And if you don't have the knowledge about how to do those things, you don't have the expertise, how are you going to leverage expertise that you don't have? Then you acquire it. So you train yourself. You get coaching, you get training, you read books, and you do all those things. Those things need to happen before you have your business. Then you get into your support and accountability. How you're going to get to accountability is step number 3, which is getting a big project, dividing into smaller parts, and then taking from there. And then that's how you do your business. So I think in 2023, it's very important for physicians to really think about this, consider this, because we want to future-proof your careers. If you want to future-proof your careers, you need to be aware of these other entrepreneurial venues that are going to be helping you in future-proofing your career in medicine or outside of medicine. I hope that this was useful to you today. Please go ahead and listen to that podcast with Dr. Lumila Schaefer from this week. I hope that you enjoyed listening to her story. It's in Design Your Physician Life podcast. You can also visit our website, maxalbert.com. If you have any topics that you want us to discuss, let us know. We have great physicians coming up in our lineup for our podcast. We're going to be discussing a lot of artificial intelligence, AI, and I invite you to go and check that. If you're just joining us, thank you for being here. The live will be available shortly, and I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. See you then. Thanks. Bye.